Hey guys, Dark Shadow Vant back at you with the final video of this short video series. So I already covered Revontuli Coast and New England Mountains in past videos for this short series, for easy missions and money. Paired with the correct skill, you can walk away receiving a good sum of money from completing these quests. I picked these maps because these story missions have very little to no hunting at all, making this selection of maps the best maps to be able to get through to rack up some money and experience with. Keep in mind that doing these missions will take about an hour or two to get through, but in the end it's very well worth it. I will also try to give you some suggestions as to what weapons you can use for hunting here on Silver Ridge Peaks. So let's grab our gear, rev up the ATV, and head to Silver Ridge Peaks, the final destination for the easiest storyline to get through.
Welcome to where I call home. I've been roaming these parts since I was old enough to, well, roam. There isn't a mountain or lake out here that hasn't been explored by either me or my dad. I hope that you get a chance to fall in love with Silver Ridge Peaks. If you're anything like me, it won't take long.
Very beautiful area. One of my favorite maps. That's very, very beautiful. Ooh, we got some, what looks like pronghorn over that way. Could be wrong.
Good morning. I hope you got a chance to grab a big breakfast before heading out. There's a lot of ground to cover and it's tough on an empty stomach. Anyway, I'm sure you'll be glad to know that I already have a job for you. While things are quiet, I've been using our outpost to store essential supplies. There is an outpost not far from you that has a small stockpile of bottled water and canned goods. I need you to grab some things from this outpost and ferry them over to one of our observation towers. Don't worry, it's not a long journey. You'll be back to hunting in no time. Before now, we've always just used the lakes for drinking water. But ever since Dad got ill, we've had to put emergency measures in place. We always had emergency supplies, of course. But now we need to account for the possibility that our entire water table is polluted. Dad and I are convinced that it's just the one lake, polluted by the old mining sump next to it. But it's taking forever to get tests done, and it's not worth the chance of someone else getting sick.
Well, we better get to hunting soon. But anyways, yes, so this is Silver Ridge Peaks, and we're going to be covering the story.
This is the place. The supplies should be laid out, ready for you to pick them up. We need at least 6 water bottles, a couple of cans of peaches or whatever we've got there. And there should be a stack of flyers. Grab them too.
So this is the map that we are covering today. We got some we got a bison or two up there. And I'm not going to do any hunting during this video. We're just going straight through the storyline. So, and there's going to be a lot of traveling with the ATV, but all in all, it's going to be very well worth it. And at this point, right now, I'm at level 19. I'm still struggling with, getting the level up. A little bit of a glitch out in the map. So as you can see, nothing has been uncovered yet, but after the video I am definitely going to be spending some time going to each and every single lookout point, getting all of our outposts uncovered, so that way for future streams we can definitely be doing some hunting, jump on the bandwagon for hunting that great one black bear, because this is one of the like 4 or 5 maps that are available where you can find the black bear to grind away at and hunt for that great one, black bear. Alright, so we gotta go get the flyers here and get this. So.
You got everything? Fantastic. The tower isn't too far to go from here.
Close the door. Gotta make sure we close that door. And let's get our ATV out. I'm gonna go with the red, the crimson ATV here. So we are going up that way. So looks like our route is going to be coming out to the main road, and then yeah, okay. And there's gonna be a lot of going in and out of the map just to make sure I'm hitting the right spot. Oh, I see some buffalo or bison. All right, and we are officially on the way and on the start of the story missions. I do hope to be putting up some more videos soon. I'm sorry that I'm finally getting to this. It's been a project that I needed to finish, and I'm just now being able to get to a lot of stuff, so hopefully this won't take too very long to finish up and do. I mean, this, like I said, it'll take about an hour or two just to get through this. And I mean, the story missions typically, you know, depending on the map, just, you know, it varies, especially when it's maps that require you to hunt. And the vast majority of the maps do require you to do some sort of hunting. So, which is why I chose to, you know, find the easiest maps that you can go through and do this with. Alright, so here is our turn here. It's a shame we don't have a... It would be nice to see a mini-map in the game to be able to, you know, instead of just having to keep, you know, bringing up the map. But, you know, all in all, still gotta love the game. This is like probably like the third time that I have grabbed or picked up the game ever since the more recent updates have come out for the game. So let's
You found the tower. There's hopefully a free shelf inside, somewhere you can stash the supplies. Oh, you should hang on to a couple of the flyers though.
Alright, so we are here, and we're going to be dropping some stuff off, and then I imagine we'll be going to do another. And a lot of these quests are back to back to back. There's really, like, no, like, waiting for them. Same as how I do believe that there is absolutely no hunting involved for this particular story missions, for these story missions. Again, it's been a while, so I can't remember if there's, like, any kind of hunting or not, but I do believe that this is one where there's just absolutely no hunting involved. It's just going from point A to point B, and just, you know, interacting with stuff, doing stuff.
Fantastic. That tower should have everything it needs now. How's the view from up there? It's great to have a hunter like yourself around. I'm grateful for your help with the supplies. I can't wait to hear your Silver Ridge hunting stories. Things have been quiet here recently. But with a hunter of your caliber on the reserve, we're gonna show folks that this is still the best place in the Rockies to hunt. Plus, you're not the only one working with us. We were able to convince Remy Warren to visit, and he's been logging his solo hunts out here for a week or so. He's got a pretty decent following online, so hopefully he's impressed with the reserve. When I proposed using social media to promote the reserve, the board were a little hesitant. But they're giving us a chance to try something new, and I'm sure it'll be worth it. So I suppose you were wondering why I wanted you to grab the flyers, right? There are people who come out here just to visit the lake. I'm fine with people standing on the shore, but until we know exactly what's going on, we need to keep people out of it. I had these flyers made up so we can pin them to our bulletin boards. There's a trail that leads straight to the lake, so I'd like you to pin up one of these flyers at the trailhead. Now, the flyers cover the basics: heavy metals, mining waste, and why to avoid diving in. It's not much, but until we know more, it's all we have. The lake is beautiful, and it's always pulled in visitors. It still looks the same as it ever did. Maybe even better, now that it's calm and peaceful. But now, I can't look at it without seeing what it did to my dad, or what it's doing to the reserve. People discover that we have one contaminated lake and assume that the reserve isn't worth visiting anymore. So far, the local wildlife seems okay, but our bookings for visitors, and especially hunters, have dried up. I have a few contingency plans that I want to try out. I'm a little nervous, though, as our board can be a little conservative. And if my ideas don't involve pulling in hunters, it can be really tricky to get them on board. It was easier to convince the board to invite yourself and Remy into the reserve, given that you're both hunters with good reputations. I'm glad you said yes.
Oh yeah, we are too. Alright, now that he is done talking, for now, let's go ahead and get this lookout point unlocked. Alright, so where we're heading is over here. Probably go ahead and just do a little bit of unlocking of the outposts along the way, but I don't know yet. I think we'll just stick to pretty much just, getting all of the, I'll definitely be, getting the lookout points as I am able to, but probably just to save a little bit of time, we'll just be zipping around, taking care of what he wants us to do, which I do believe is like a good 10, maybe 12 story missions that we got to do. So this is where we're going, and I do believe where we are stopping at is kind of over in this direction here. What's actually ironic is he was saying it's good to have Remy Warren on board. Well, guess what? Yeah, okay.
One down, one to go. Keep following the trail to the lake.
Alright. We're definitely moving along, even though this is our second story mission, or, well, yeah, officially it would be the second, but I think ironically it would actually be I think technically
Take
it's
a look at
the
the water. If I hadn't told you, would you suspect that the lake was dangerous?
Sorry, I gotta sneeze real quick. Or I might.
We might not be able to monitor the lake 24/7, but at least now people have been warned. Thanks for taking care of that. It's such a strange feeling to be publicizing the very issue that is hurting us at the moment. I know it's the responsible thing to do, but it still feels slightly like self-sabotage. Our summer season has already started, and normally, this whole area would be covered with hikers. I've only seen a handful of people in the reserve recently. I'm sure that things will pick up eventually. But every day, I'm reminded that my dad was the major driving force behind this place. It's just bad timing, I suppose. We'd had some other issues with one of the board members, but that's in the past. The best thing to do is to keep pushing forward. I've got some big plans to help turn things around. Who knows? Maybe we'll have this place at full strength by the time my dad gets back in the saddle. I'm talking a lot about family stuff, aren't I? I suppose work and family are the same thing for me, you know? I've been watching my dad do this job since I was a kid. Let's change the subject, shall we? I've got a job that I'd like you to take care of. The big plans I mentioned before? One of these plans is a little passion project of mine. We're gonna need some gear. Rappelling gear, actually. And I have stashed a few bags at one of the nearby outposts. And I'd like you to head over there and pick them up. When you can. I've been doing adventure sports for about 10 years or so now. It started with bouldering and rock climbing while I was on a high school trip. Last year, I got an accreditation as an instructor, and I was planning on teaching classes. When my dad got ill, I put it on the back burner. But now, I think we have a good opportunity to commit to it. Unfortunately, I'm a little too busy to teach classes just now. But one of my base jumping friends, Sammy, took the same course as me, so she's gonna lead the class instead.
Alright, so where are we heading? Is all the way up that way. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this outpost, go ahead and unlock this outpost here. And then we'll go ahead and head along the way. To our next location. Alright, so let's see, we gotta go all the way up and around. Alright. So I do believe this is this map with these particular quests is gonna send us all over the map. I do believe, I can't exactly remember, Like I said, it's been a while since I last played The Hunter Call the Wild. And this is officially the third time in the last 24 hours I've actually, well, actually it's the second time. Because I just spent a little bit of time opening my New England Mountains map. Because again, you know, I have not really been playing much on Call of the Wild. I've been busy with doing some other stuff. I've got stuff involving the house I'm living in right now that's going on. Family health issues going on, or personal health issues, and just, you know, a lot of that stuff that, you know, just takes your time away, and also just focusing on doing some other stuff when it comes to content for either YouTube or Twitch. But alright, so I do believe that was not the turn I want to take yet. But once again, fair warning, I will be exiting in it, or opening and closing the map a lot, especially when it comes to running around on the ATV, figuring out where I'm heading, and, you know, like, you know, what turns I need to take and everything. So just be warned about that. I don't want to be, you know, causing any kind of like health issues for anyone, but just, you know, just a heads up. Ooh. And this is something else that tends to take up a little bit of my time a little bit, is finding need zones around the map as well. So that's a pronghorn feed zone. I think there was a pothole there. But yeah, so I might periodically stop to get need zones, because, you know, finding those need zones are probably one of the biggest things when it comes to playing on Call of the Wild. I mean, yeah, you want to definitely get those drinking zones, especially when you're setting up where your Great One grinds, because those are specifically the easiest and the most suggested need zone to really make use out of. But you can also make use out of the rest zone, out of the feed zones. But if you do, you had to really time it right. You had to, you know, pay attention to the time. You had to be watching. Ooh, bison. Yeah, I'm not getting off the ATV for that. Not with bison around. Yeah, no. For recording purposes, we are not doing that. Yeah, no, yeah. Just what I need. A bison to attack me while I'm recording a video. Yeah, okay. Looks like we got another bison up ahead. Are you okay there, pal? But that's the one thing I like about, you know, doing it like this, is being able to, you know, run around on the ATV, you know, stir up the game a little bit, and, you know, see what's, you know, lurking around. I mean, ironically, I have yet to spook like any great ones, especially like the whitetail, the moose, or the red deer. I have yet to actually see that happen, or have that happen, to where I spook a great one out of hiding. But if it were to happen, I'd probably be going, ah, shucks. But, you know, being able to just, you know, run around like this, uncover the map, do the story missions, or doing the side missions, you know, I like it, and I honestly have no problem with doing it like this. I mean, ultimately, every single animal that you spook will come back to the zones, as you kind of spook them up a little bit, but, you know, again, it winds up being well worth it once you're finished, because sometimes, especially once you get, you know, a little further along into the levels, you wind up finding out that your levels, you're gaining skills and perk points every other level, not every level. But, you know, again, in my personal opinion, doing the story missions are very well worth it.
I packed it into a couple of backpacks. It shouldn't be too heavy.
Alright, let's go ahead and unlock this outpost. So that's going to be the one thing I'm definitely going to wind up doing, is as we're moving from spot to spot, you know, certain places are going to be outposts. Some places are probably going to be lookout points. So unlocking them is, you know, going to be well worth it in the end.
You got everything? There's a good rock face nearby that Sammy can use to teach her beginners. If I recall correctly, you also have some mountain climbing experience. I get it. Those mountain goats aren't easy to catch. There's some good anchoring points at the top of the rock face. If you can get those ropes nice and secure, it'll save Sammy some time and help the class.
Alright, so we are heading over this way. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, and just being able to finally sit down, do this video for you guys, and just, you know, finally get it done. It takes away a little bit of the stress off of me, because I'll be able to, you know, rest easy knowing that I've definitely completed something else for you guys that's informative, that's helpful in a sense. I mean, especially if you're, you know, wanting to know, you know, which maps are the easiest to get through when it comes to storylines, you know, and there's only 3 at the moment that I know where there's, like, absolutely no hunting to, like, just very little of it. So, where we need to get up to is right up here.
Truth be told, I've wanted to start an extreme sports group here for a long time, but the old chairman of the board pushed back against anything that wasn't hunting. He was very old-fashioned, though. The patriarch of the Simpkins Electronics Empire. He even forced his vegan animal rights activist son, Timothy, to come with him on hunting trips to Africa. Accused the activist of brainwashing his son. The family reputation around here dropped quite dramatically when my dad caught Timothy drinking and dealing drugs inside the reserve.
Oof.
Simpkins actually used his power on the board to keep my dad quiet. But the next time my dad caught Tim in the reserve, he wasn't just dealing drugs. He had been poaching. Dad called it in without even telling Simpkins Sr. Of course, he was furious. Tried to get my dad fired, actually. But all credit to the board. They stuck with my old man. All these changes I want to make will hopefully account for the loss of the Simpkins' money and influence. This is just the start, too. I'm proposing snowboarding and extreme skiing for the winter. I've got some friends who I'd love to invite over to shoot some videos. Could be fun, don't you think? Anyway, if the rappelling goes well and makes a little money, I think the old folks on the board will start to come around.
That would be a harsh drop.
That looks great. I doubt I could have done a better job myself. Don't let the ropes down. We don't need them getting all tangled up. I really appreciate your help with this one. It's been an uphill battle to get to this point, and I'm disappointed that I can't be there to run the classes myself. If I'm being honest, I have a lot invested in the classes going well. There's still some people on the board who are friends with the old chairman, and it seems pretty clear that they don't like me proposing new ideas. Anyway, I'll let Sammy know that we're good to go. I trust her to take care of it.
Alright, so where are we going next?
So listen, there might be a situation going on at the moment and I could really use your help to check it out. It's not just gold and silver mining that took place out here. Even more recently, there was a working uranium mine in the area. When the reserve was established, we took responsibility for keeping it safe. Anyway, the old uranium mine is very rarely a problem. But recently, it appears that one of our neighbors, a guy I went to school with actually, has been spotted camping out around the mine. His name's Bobby Joe Jefferson. He's normally just a nuisance, driving his quad bike around and setting up little shooting ranges with tin cans. He makes the deer and turkeys extra skittish, so the hunters hate him. Can you head over to the mine and see what's going on? He's allowed to hike and camp there, but I don't want him going anywhere near the entrance itself.
Alright, so where are we heading? Okay, it looks like we need to turn around and head off that way. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of ATV riding, and this is how I generally do all my story missions, unless if it's like, you know, ones that require hunting. 9 times out of 10, I'm just zipping around on the ATV, not really, you know, giving too much of a worry about spooking the animals off, because they do and will eventually come back to the zones that, you know, they were initially in. It just, you know, you had to kind of, you know, give them a little bit of time, but again, you know, I will keep saying it is very well worth it, especially if you just want a those simple, easy to do story missions. So, you know, that don't require, you know, too much to do. So once again, it'll be Revontuli Coast, Silver Ridge Peaks, which we are playing on right now, and New England Mountains. Thought I just saw Need Zone, but I'm not gonna spend too much time and turn it around just to go and grab it. May have just been a patch of flowers. And I will try to I will try to timestamp all the missions and everything for you guys, so that way you don't have to worry about, you know, watching me, you know, zipping around on the ATV, you know, and having to hear, you know, the sound of the ATV and me blabbering on about stuff. But again, I will definitely try to do that for you guys, so that way it's easier to know where you're heading. I will also be pointing out, you know, certain spots to kind of turn off at. So, not quite there yet. But this is definitely one of my favorite spots for hunting. I do love trying to go after the bear, the mountain lion, puma. Now, for those of you that may not know, or even if you already know, the mountain lion is also known as a puma. It's also known as a cougar. So, if you wind up hearing me saying mountain lion, puma, cougar, you know, when I see them or if I hear them, you know, it's all correct. You know, it just the biologist in me coming out is all. Alright. Slowly getting there. Hello, bear. Alright, so where is the turnoff for this? You know, I could make my own path for this, but there it is. Found it. I hope this is it. Let's check. Yeah, no. We went too far. Well, you know what? I'm already here. And we're not too far off from the trail that we need to take anyways, so. Yep. Alright. Might as well should grab this outpost since I'm right here. Looks like all we gotta do is just come over this way. Yeah, maybe not. Or perhaps. Oh, I see the trail. There we go. Right there. Alright. Do not worry. This is the usual way that I do this. Alright, so instead of making that turn, I'm just going to go straight for the marker there. Ah! Yeah, I know they meant these things for off-roading, but holy crap. Eh.
Okay, first things first. Let's make sure that the mine itself is still secure. This looks intact, at least. That's gotta be a good sign.
So let's see. I think we got interact with these, don't
A
we?
trail camera? I've used these for work and for hunting before. This one shouldn't be here, though. We don't want hunters so close to the mine. Grab the camera.
Yep, already got that one, so we just got these two to get.
Another trail camera. Bobby Joe doesn't have a permit to hunt here. Is he poaching? Hopefully that's the last one. Pick him up and I'll put him in our lost and found when I can take him from you. I don't really understand what's going on with the cameras, but at least the entrance is secure. Let's go find his camp, shall we? It was actually Remy that called this one in. He doesn't know who Bobby Joe is, but I knew who it was as soon as Remy described him. That looks like his camp. Any sign of him? Rifle cartridges. That's not good news. Some snacks? Not enough to last a long trip, though. Binoculars. Maybe he was hunting. I'm seeing a pretty worrying pattern here. Take a look in the tent. A journal. Maybe this'll show us why he's out here.
Let's see. Mission items. For some reason this is kinda... This is not the first time I've had this happen. Alright, come on.
That's our sign.
Okay,
Pick it
never
up,
mind.
would you? Secret uranium mining. Government conspiracy? I'll be honest. I never credited Bobby Joe with this much imagination in high school. Replant the sign, and we're done here for now.
For some
You know
reason I
what makes
thought...
this extra weird? He actually has done some detective work. Enough to convince himself to camp here.
For some reason I thought we had to read it, but that's my fault. Again, like I said, it's just been a while since I last played on Call of the Wild, but I will definitely be getting back to it more and more. Alright. And Kerplot.
The sign's back up? Great. This mine has never been a problem before, but let's not take any chances. Me and my dad have been dealing with Bobby Joe for years, but this is new. I know he's a nuisance, but I always felt sorry for him. He had a pretty tough upbringing. I don't want to call the police, but I have to. He's armed and known for making poor choices. It would appear that it's not just the neighbors that are making questionable calls today. Sometimes folks from the city will drive out here to get away from work or their personal lives or whatever happens to be bothering them. The problem is that sometimes, quite often actually, people wander into the wilderness without a clue of how to survive if things go wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. And based on a couple of phone calls I've had from the hospital today, I think that someone has made a mess and could use some help. I was going to check in on them myself, but I need to coordinate with the police on this Bobby Joe thing, and you're already really close by. Can you head over to the campgrounds nearby and check in on them? The phone calls were sporadic at best. As far as I can tell, this professional yoga and meditation expert has led a group of accountants from Denver into the wilderness on some sort of spiritual retreat. She took their cell phones away from them and had them eating wild flowers and berries. Some of them got sick and have gone directly to the hospital. I know that we're not the reason why this happened, but it could look very bad for us if anyone gets seriously hurt. I'd appreciate if you'd hustle and check it out.
Alright, so where are we heading to? And sorry if the camera keeps moving around a lot. I do apologize for that. It's just sometimes it's very difficult to finagle with the camera. So it looks like we're coming back down this way. But I will most definitely try to timestamp the quests if I can. Looks like we're gonna have to do a little bit of off-roading here. So let's go for it. We forge our own path. Just remember, guys, do not attempt this at home. This way.
That's weird. I expected a lot more activity here. They said they were bringing 20 people. Where is everyone? Is the leader in her tent? She goes by Jem. Jem Bodden.
That last name always pops up.
Can you hear the phones ringing? I guess we know where she hid them then. The accountants have left. I'm going to send someone to make sure they got back to their cars safely. This is an absolute disaster. A bunch of poisoned accountants and a lone woman climbing a non-specific mountain. Next time someone tries to run a retreat out here, I'm gonna make them hire a professional guide. She's expecting the others to meet her at the top of a mountain? Which one? This is exactly the sort of thing I find myself fighting uphill against. It's hard to get going when stuff like this keeps... Okay, first things first. We need to figure out where Bodden's gone. I'll try to reach some of the accountants back at the hospital. Maybe they can help. I get the distinct feeling that she hasn't packed hiking boots or proper equipment for a climb. Maybe she'll turn back soon. I'll let you know if I hear anything, okay?
Let's make our way back to the road.
Today continues to throw up challenges for us. I have another job for you, and this one is urgent. We received a call from one of our neighbors, Norman, asking if we'd seen his dad, a longtime friend of the reserve. Apparently he's gone missing and he's taken all the family camping supplies with him. Around the same time, 2 hikers reported to us that they spotted a single old man laden down with gear, heading into a part of the reserve that is known for its bears. When they asked him if he needed any help, he politely declined and kept walking. Their description matches old Ted perfectly. Short white hair, green rain slicker, and brown leather boots. No gun. I'm trying to get a hold of Norman, but he said that he'd make some more calls just in case Teddy's gone to visit friends. I'm just getting his voicemail at the moment. While I sort this out, can you head over to where the hikers saw him and try to follow old Teddy's trail? He knows his way around here, so I have no idea why he'd wander into bear country.
Alright, so where are we heading? Over here. Alright. I think I'll go ahead and grab this lookout point to... I think it'll illuminate this area here. Go down towards this outpost and make a lefty. I'm surprised that we have not seen like a unique female appearance, or yeah, appearance, or a unique female look, so to speak. I mean, it's kind of cool that the Remy Warren look is here, and ironically, you know, when you're playing on Silver Ridge Peaks and you're going through the story missions, you just get that soft little chuckle because you're like, I'm playing as Remy Warren, and you're saying that, yeah, it just tends to be a little on the ironic side, but at the same time, it's like, alright. But I still think we should see a unique female look for anyone that likes to, you know, for the female players, for you women out there that like to play on Hunter Call of the Wild, you know, it would be cool to have a unique female, unique hunter female look in the game. And I think at one point in time there was one, like an idea for one, but I don't think it went through. But I honestly feel like, you know, the game could use that. Let's see, where's our... Oh, right here. So I just want to grab this lookout point. So that way, because I'm pretty sure it will illuminate the area for where we're heading for this next story mission. The ATV that thinks it can. Alright. Let's make sure I'm hitting the right spot. Oh look! I think it's a pronghorn that I just saw. And there's our lookout point. There goes a bear. And sometimes I do like to do this, where if I know I'm heading into an area where I could use a little bit of assistance from the map as to where I'm going, then yeah, I'll do this. Just to stray away from the story mission a little bit, to just, you know, open up the map a little bit more. I'm going to try not to do this a lot, but it'll just be helpful in the long run. I mean, there's places where it's helpful, there's places where it's like I can come back to it later. And I think this is one of those helpful times. So we'll take a look at the map and see. Yeah, it kind of did help, but just a tad bit. Just a tad. It's either going to be on this lookout point, or I think it's actually going to be this one that's going to illuminate this area here. But okay then. Run down the steps. Don't trip there! Ouch. Oh yeah, that's bear scat. That was most definitely a bear that we saw. Let's see, so far we have seen bear, we have seen pronghorn, we have seen bison. Haven't seen any elk yet. Oh gosh. Haven't seen any muleys yet. What else? I think I've seen 1 or 2 turkey flying. Trying to remember. Ah, we're swerving out of control. I think there is a path that will show up at a certain point to be able to get to where we're heading for over here. There, Wallow Basin. I'm gonna be looking for a spot where a path starts up. So I'm gonna slow up just a little bit. Is that it? No, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, I think this is it right here, actually.
That's the place. You found where the hikers spotted him. That's good news. Listen, I got a hold of Norman and he's on his way out here. But he's a couple of hours drive away. I told him that we were looking for his dad. Norman's really worried. He thinks that Ted has had a breakdown. Ted's wife, Jeannie, died a couple of weeks ago. And since the funeral,
Aww.
Ted hasn't been himself. The family were giving him as much space as they could. But now they're worried that he's fully isolated himself and he's made some bad decisions that have led him here. Norman took a trip to visit him, but when he arrived, Ted was gone and so was his car. Norman remembers his dad saying that he proposed to Jeannie during a trip to Silver Ridge Peaks 45 years ago.
Aww.
That whole region is a beautiful valley, but nobody goes out there unarmed while the bears are roaming around. It might be a long shot, but can you gear up with whatever you need and head into bear country as soon as possible? If Ted's looking for where he proposed almost a half a century ago, I just hope he finds it before the bears find him. I'll mark the beauty spot on your GPS. Be careful in those parts. Keep your rifle handy at all times.
Actually, I think I'll leave the... just park this here. I need to buy more ammo. You know what? Nah. Let's go ahead and take the ATV. I really don't... because the sign will just scare away the animals anyways. And it'll make it a bit faster to do it like this.
You think Ted's shedding weight? man is in his 70s. This must be a tough trek for him.
I mean, that's another reason why you kind of want to go on foot, but you can do this on ATV. It's just you had to get on and off the ATV multiple times because of this particular mission. I think there's a point up here where there's another thing to interact with. I do not know.
That's the second pile of gear that Ted must have left behind. No wonder he was moving slowly.
That's not fair scat, so no signs of bear yet.
This place has been torn apart. There's no blood, no body. He's left his pack here, though. He must be traveling light, but we can't wait for him to come back to camp. The bear could still be around.
Alright, I'm gonna interact with this because I think this gives some experience. It's either money or experience. XP reward. Okay.
This is the beauty spot. But he's gone. There's no sign of an encounter. But look, Ted was definitely here. Ted and Jeannie, 1978. I can't even imagine what's going through his head at the moment. My dad and I used to talk about men who would seek their solace in nature. He told me that if he didn't have my mom or me around, he'd eventually have just started living out here. I didn't believe him at first, but as I've grown older, it makes more sense to me. He's running from the pain he's feeling. Out there, he doesn't need to think about anyone or anything else. He can just be alone. Norman will be here soon. I told him that his visit will include a trip to bear country, so he's got a rifle to protect himself. I'll point him to his dad's old camp for now. It makes most sense for that to be where Ted will come back to whenever he's ready. There's no tracks for you to follow, and while I don't like the idea of him wandering around, Ted clearly wants to be alone out here. might have a lead on our missing yoga instructor. Sammy was driving home after the rappelling lesson, and she heard something that could be Miss Bodden. She had pulled over to look under the hood of her car, and she swears she heard a scream from the woods nearby. And I asked her if it could have been an animal noise, but she seemed pretty insistent that it was a woman's scream. I know it's nothing solid to go on, but it could be what leads us to her. Can you check it out? I'll mark the spot on your GPS.
Now, one of the reasons why he said that is sometimes the mountain lions will sound like a woman's scream. There's other animals that, you know, will sound like that as well. Like, oh gosh. I'm trying to think what else will sound like that. Like, I think even bobcats. I think their calls will sound like a woman's scream from time to time. When he said that, my mind jumped to the show Mountain Monsters, and there was a oh gosh, it was, what was it, the Waya woman, I think. Where her calls sounded like it was that of like a woman's scream. So it's like, oh no, the wild woman's in the game. Alright, so alright, I think I see where I should probably turn off at. Down a little further. And turn. Sometimes you had to make your own.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you. This is bear country. Sure, they're normally quick to turn tail and run, but they're extremely aggressive if their cubs are nearby. It's time for maximum caution. Can you hear that? It's like a horn or something. There, on the ground. An air horn app? I've heard of people trying to scare away bears and cougars with real-life air horns. Personally, I've never really trusted using sound to scare off a bear. Not permanently, at least. Well, that's the contact number I had for her. Cell phone service can be really poor out there, though. Still, she was here. Check out the bear markings on that tree. There's no sign of her, is there? If she tried to hide from a bear up a tree, she found out pretty fast that bears are great climbers. Maybe she threw the water bottle in her phone to give herself a chance to escape. Are there any more clues? A bear. Be careful. I'm sorry to send you in there, my friend. I know you can handle a black bear, but that doesn't make it okay. Dad would never have put his people in this position. I have to be smarter. It just seems like every problem lands at once, you know? I'm trying to improve the reserve, but things keep getting in the way. Look, I'm really grateful that you've been able to help me out. If it had been me out there, things could have gone a lot worse. The important thing is Baden's safety, right? Are there any signs of where she went?
Let's go ahead and pick this up real quick. Female, bronze, flesh brain skull. Well, let's see. Isn't there like shoe prints?
Those look like fresh footprints. She made it out of there, heading west. Still, now she has no phone and no water bottle. Let me look at the map and I'll come up with a game plan.
Okay, so there was a slight little hunting opportunity, but I do believe that this is that's like the only time. So very much like the New England mountains, this is like probably the only time you actually get a shot off at a bear or something.
Okay, got it. Not far from where you are, we have the old funicular railway. It's pretty big, and it's a tourist attraction. If Baden sees it, then maybe she'll head towards it to look for help. At the bottom of the track, there's an old shed that she could try to shelter close to. It's not much, but it's a start.
Looks like someone forgot their bear deterrent. Mind you, if you're caught unaware, it might not help. I'll never forget the time I was hunting elk with a group of friends, and a 1,200-pound grizzly came in hot from 30 yards out.
Given how badly things have gone for her so far, I can only hope that she's not still planning to climb a mountain.
Some of us had bear spray, but the wind was too strong to use it. The only reason we made it out alive is because the bear got confused when all 6 of us split up. It was like something out of a movie.
I'm going to give the accountants another call at the hospital. See if they can't help us work out where her head is at.
Alright, so we're heading over this way. So, I was kind of wrong to say that there is no hunting when going through these story missions, because I forgot that you kind of can get a shot off at a bear. And I do believe even the New England Mountains story missions you get to shoot at a bear. And I do believe for both it was a female black bear. So I've been recording for almost an hour and a half at this point. So yeah, you know, doing the missions will definitely take a bit over an hour, or sometimes 2 to 3 hours at best. Ooh, got some elk. That was either elk or muleys, I couldn't tell, I really wasn't paying attention. But at best, you know, a good 2 to 3 hours to be able to do some focus on the story missions, you know, is typical. Even for just, you know, story missions with very little to no hunting at all, it's normal. Now, for some of the others, it tends to be a bit longer because you have far more hunting that you have to do. I do know Yukon, you know, there's quite a few going from point A to point B, but then it does veer off to where you do wind up doing a lot of quite a few hunting missions. Ugh.
What the hell has happened here? It looks like the bears have been using the shed as a latrine and a scratching post. I'm meant to be taking a potential investor to tour the reserve this week. She cannot see this. Baden's not here. There's no sign of her. And I still can't get through to the accountants. They've left the hospital and don't have their cell phones. Can you put the shed back together and tidy things up a bit? I hate to do this, but there's no way I'm gonna make it out there before the tour.
So much bear crap.
It might be from a bear, but why would they come here? I don't see bears tearing that off. Thanks. It's probably still gonna smell pretty bad, but at least it's not covered in bear scat. Bears tend to stay away from humans, and we never kept anything that would attract them inside that shed. Are there any tracks nearby? The place looked fine when I was here last week. That's unexpected. The public don't tend to drive to the funicular, and if it was one of the staff, they'd use quad bikes. This looks like it was left by a car or a truck. I think someone has vandalized our property. It doesn't make a lot of sense, though. Why would anyone come all the way out here to do this? Maybe bored teenagers? I pulled some stupid pranks when I was young, but none involved ferrying around a bunch of bear scat. Given that this has happened to the shed, I'm a little worried about the railway itself. It's a unique tourist site, over 100 years old. It leads all the way up to Prosperity, the reserve's ghost town. It used to be home to the miners who came out here during the Silver Rush. I think it's a little creepy, but tourists like it. Would you check the track out, please? I would feel a lot better knowing it's okay.
So we started out like on the eastern side of the map, and now we've made our way over to, I think, the western side at this point. but there's still quite a few quests or missions to get done. Was that what I think it is? Yup. Right here. Mountain goat eating.
What? What's going on with the rail? Torn up? As in removed? How did they even... It's just been ripped out of the ground. Gone. This would have taken a crew and equipment. This isn't teenagers with too much time on their hands. This is the sabotage of one of our irreplaceable attractions. I need some pictures. I'm gonna send them to the police. I'm on hold with the sheriff's office. Then I think I need to call my dad. Since it appears that someone is trying to sabotage the reserve, I need you... Hello, yes, Sheriff Cole, please. I need you to head up to the ghost town and see if they've done any damage there. I'll check in later. Jerry, hey, thanks for picking up so fast.
Alright, so up to the ghost town. Alright, so where are we heading? Alright. So this is the right way to go right here. Follow the sandy road. Follow the sandy road. Follow the sandy road. Sorry, I think I've taken in a little too much sugar. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here. Do that.
I spoke with the sheriff. He's as confused as I am, but he's gonna send someone over to take a look. Let me know when you get to the ghost town. I've got a heavy feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Oh boy.
They've been here as well. Damn it! They've gone from vandals to poachers and mindless animal killers. This is escalating so quickly. Who would possibly want to do this? Some disgruntled former staff member? My dad and I haven't had any trouble with any of our staff, past or present. Can you take a look around? I want to know just how much damage these guys have done. If you find an animal, take a picture and send it my way, please.
Alright, so there's two right here that... Alright, there's three. I think there's a total of 4. So
I'll save this for the police. Thanks.
I know there's one right there.
Good work. Got it.
There's 2. Is this another one over here?
A third? Okay. Another one? How long did this take them, I wonder?
I think there's a total of 4 to snap.
Is that the last of them? Hopefully this is the only place... Was that a door opening? Are they still here? Be careful. We know they're armed. What's that sound? It's horrible. Those sounds... like animals dying. End hunting now. What? Is this some kind of activist? I don't buy it. I know we hunt animals, but making a quick, clean kill is paramount for us. Take a picture of the text and send it over. This was... something else. Needless cruelty. All to send us a message. Got the photograph. I'll save it with the others. How the hell has this happened? How did we go from thinking this was kids being a nuisance to armed poachers killing and torturing animals? The deputy sheriff is on her way over now. Listen, I don't think it's best for you to be chasing these people down now. They're armed, and they don't seem to care much for ethics or responsibility. I'd like you to get out of there, and the police will take over.
Heck no. Let me go after them.
There is actually one place where it's hopefully safe to send you, where you might find something that can help us. These people seem to know exactly how to hurt us. They've targeted our unique tourist spots and our animals. There's a fossil excavation site that I was planning to show our investor as well. It's abandoned just now as the college ran out of funding for the dig last year, but we've been keeping it safe for when they come back. It's basically just a shed and a hole, but it represents a good opportunity to interact with the local community and college. Tourists don't go there, but it's a big part of raising the reserve's profile in a way that doesn't involve hunting. Can you head over there and make sure everything is still locked up and secure? It's not good for our reputation if we can't protect a tiny dig site.
Or, no. Oh, it's this way. Okay. Right direction, wrong roadway. Yeah, as you can see, it takes a lot just to do the story missions on their own. It definitely takes a lot because now we are almost at 2 hours here. And still not quite done yet. I think we're starting to get a little bit closer to the ending of the story missions. I think. I could be wrong. I think there's, oh gosh, without having to like really stop and pull up a browser and look at it, I think there's like maybe 6 or 7 more story missions to do. Ooh, now we can fly. think that was Mountain Goat, I think. Wow, I was actually able to find that without pulling up the map. It's all coming back to me now. Ah! Our ATV is taking a little bit of a beating. Back in Fairwallow Basin. Ooh. Alright, remote play. Don't scare me like that. Alright, so where are we heading to? Looks like we just gotta keep heading straight. For the most part. Alright. Tell you what, I don't mind doing this, but I mean, over time, just, you know, I do get a slight headache going. Ooh, what's this? Oh, it might be an outpost. And it is. Alright. Go ahead and grab this. So originally when I first started doing this series, I had the initial intent of doing every single map, but that would take a lot of hours, that would take a lot of patience, and that would take, you know, not just the, you know, moving from point A to point B, you know, interacting with stuff, you know, maybe firing your gun occasionally or like very rarely. But like vast majority of the other maps have multiple missions where you have to hunt an X amount of animals, and is like, you know, sometimes I struggle trying to find the animals, especially if I don't have like certain perks that will help out, like, you know, the Fatal Attraction perk helps out when using the calls, because, you know, then you can definitely bring the animals to you. But without having like certain perks or certain skills, you know, it's tough to try to do a lot of the missions without, you know, having the right, like I said, the right perk or the right skill, or sometimes the right gear. I mean, I don't have every single lure, and mostly because I am still below level 25. And if I'm correct, I do believe the Predator Distressed Fawn Call requires me to be level 25, and I do believe it's the same for the Deer Grunt Caller. Oh look, elk. So, you know, it's going to be, you know, a little bit before I can really do even more hunts. Especially if I were to really want to try to go for, like, you know, the bears. You know, especially for the great one. Black bear, you know, having the Predator call would make it, you know, much easier. But because I don't have that yet, and I don't think I'm at the required level, because like I said, I do believe I have to be level 25, and I'm just, what, level 20. And I got and I just reached level 20, like, what? Like, 1 or 2 missions ago? So it looks like I need to go ahead and veer off of the road here. Ah! I did not see that stump there. I swear. I did not see it.
I have an update for you. Since the sheriff's office are all discussing what's been going on up here, it turns out that they've been sharing notes. One of the deputies actually pulled over a truck just outside the reserve. The truck was hauling a short chunk of rail track and 2 big heavy railway sleepers. Turns out the driver runs some kind of historical museum out in Arizona. He claims someone called Mr. Green reached out to him and offered him a chance to take home some historic railroad. The driver was confused, but was keen to grab a piece of Gold Rush history, so he drove out to retrieve a piece yesterday. Said that he and his son had to cut it out with a saw and lift it with a crane. He had receipts for the whole plant rental and everything. Obviously, we had nothing to do with this exchange, so the question becomes, who on earth is Mr. Green? You're nearly there. It's not much, but you'll recognize it when you see it. The cops were gonna ask me about it, but the guy was adamant that it had all been signed off by this Mr. Green. They just tried calling his number, and it's not recognized. They're gonna get in touch with the truck driver and get back to me. Okay, so at least the site itself hasn't been touched. What about the tool shed? They left an inventory, but there wasn't much in there. Just some digging tools and a rock saw.
I don't remember how to continue on with this one. Let's take a look at the map real quick. Inspect the tool shed. Where's the tool shed at?
I knew it. Of course they've been here as well.
Aha.
They've taken something. The rock saw is missing. I looked them up and they're like $500 brand new. This one was used and old. I doubt it's worth much. It was pretty heavy too. Have a look around. I wonder if they drove up here to get it. Gotcha. Okay. So they're in a car or truck and they've been here recently. I've got a plan, but we're gonna need to act fast. Grab a photo of those tracks and send it to me. I'm gonna round up some of my friends. Stay on the line. Okay, so we're going to lock down the barricades for all of our roads. Nothing gets in or out. I've rounded up a few people to help, but I've got a gate I need you to lock up. First thing you'll need to do is grab a padlock. I keep one in the closest lookout tower to the gate. Once you're inside, look for a locker.
Alright, so we need to go up there. So I know that going this way is gonna take me up to the road. Alright. Whatever I hit sent me into this tree here. That's what I get for tearing through the woods with the ATV. Oh, come on. Alrighty. We're nearly there. Yes, thank you. No more of that headache. Oy vey.
That's the tower you need to check inside. Let me know when you've grabbed the padlock.
Go ahead and run our way up.
You've got the padlock? Okay. Your GPS will show you where to find the right gate. We're almost there. The other roads are all locked down. Just your gate left to close. One of my friends says he arrived at his gate just as a truck was leaving. He recorded the license plate, though. The deputy's gonna take a look.
I think we're nearly almost done. I think. Could be wrong, but I think we're almost done.
That's the gate. Close it and lock it shut. Great work. If the criminals are still inside the reserve, they're gonna need to go off-road to escape. I feel better. The police are working with us now, and we have taken steps to get things back on track. The deputies share my suspicions about this being the work of animal rights activists. Sure, we get the odd email from time to time. A few years ago, my dad narrowly avoided having red paint thrown all over him by someone who had come looking for trouble. There's a group called the Activists for the Protection of Animal Rights, APAR. They've sent us some letters in the past. Thing is, it's been all calm on that front recently. And if you want to target why us, we're not high profile. Until recently, that was my biggest problem. Plus, the sounds on that tape will be with me for a while. I don't think the person who recorded them is likely to be sensitive to animal rights. One thing I do know is that this lockdown is going to hurt us. People will talk. And I know that there are people on the board who are already considering replacing me. I do have better news, though. One of the accountants got back to me about this meditation mountain that Baden was going to climb. She's ambitious, I'll give her that. She set her sights on one of our taller mountains, Mount Ursula. The police are in charge, so we have to take the back seat for a while. In the meantime, I'd like you to have another shot at finding Baden. She must be in a pretty rough state by now.
Alright, so where am I heading? Ooh, you know what? Youch! I think it's almost time to consider fixing up the ATV, maybe. I don't know. But I know something I forgot to do. Well, is come up here. And do that. So for almost 2 hours so far, or practically 2 hours at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's, you know, add another couple of minutes and then, yeah, it'll be officially 2 hours. But I do believe we're inching closer to the end of the story missions. So, and I don't want to, you know, go, you know, cheating and just looking up, you know, exactly, you know, what the story missions are and how many there are. but I'm pretty sure we're inching ever so closer to finishing up the story missions here. But we will know soon enough. So Remy and his twin are working in Silver Ridge Peaks, or have been working in Silver Ridge Peaks. Jeez. Alright, so once we... Yeah, I see. Kind of had to... Because to kind of do this one, you kind of, once again, you kind of had to, you know, kind of make your own path. But I'm thinking I'm gonna go grab that outpost that's up there, up this way real quick. Maybe fix up, go ahead and, you know, get the ATV fixed up a bit. Then continue on. Mountain lion chasing prey. Mountain goat. Just saw some turkeys flying. Oh look, I see a mountain lion. Let's chase it. Hello there, pretty boy or pretty girl. You know what? Cougar watch. Do 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 do. Ugh. I should have known that was gonna happen.
I got a short chance to speak to my dad about all this. He told me that while he always has my back, he plans to retire permanently from the warden position. He doesn't know what he's gonna do next, but he feels that his health problems stop him from doing the job properly. If I'm being honest, I always counted on him coming back. I told him that I felt like I was just keeping his seat warm. I think we both knew that his recovery was going too slowly for this to be a short-term thing. He seems confident that we've got this situation covered. More confident than I am, actually. We just need to keep pushing on. Let's find Baden and bring her home safely. footprints. Look, that's definitely her gear. There's a yoga mat and everything. Is that a journal? Normally I wouldn't recommend this, but maybe we should see if she's written anything that can help. That's a lot to take in. Did she say she heard noises from the tree line? Let's check it out. I'll be honest, I'm really worried about her now.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe it. We followed. We were so close. I need to tell the police. I should... Okay, first things first. I need to get it together. How you doing? Are you okay? I'm sorry that you're having to deal with this firsthand. I need to deal with this. But there hasn't been a death in the reserve for almost a decade. I'm gonna call my dad, so he can talk me through the next steps. Before I start making arrangements, there's something I'd like you to do for me, if you think you're up to it. In her journal, Baden mentions winning the trip out here. In all this drama, I forgot that she wasn't just here with the retreat. She was planning on staying a little longer at one of our outposts. There was something strange about the booking. I'm gonna make some calls now, but I'd like you to go to the outpost she was going to stay at. I have an uneasy feeling about why she was here. I can't quite explain it, but I don't think it was her idea to come here.
Kind of make a beeline towards this point right there. Alright. Ah, tree. Dark, dark, dark of the forest. Watch out for that tree. Ah! Watch out for that tree. Ah! I know I've been missing like multiple need zones, but sooner to get this done the better, you know. let's go ahead and go grab this outpost that's over this way real quick. I want to go ahead and get the ATV fixed up, or it's gonna start smoking on me. Oh, I know right where I'm at. Yep. It's actually one of my favorite spots to come to for hunting. Yep, because there's this spot right here. This is a spot, so I've actually bagged some decent bear and mountain lion at, and mule deer at the same time. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I need to come back to the road and go that way. We gotta go check out the outpost that she was supposed to be staying at. This is gonna be fun. Be funny as all get if that mountain lion that I was chasing was a diamond. There goes another mountain lion. Sorry about that. Had to check my phone. My stepfather is in the hospital because he had a surgery he had to go in for. So, I've been kind of keeping an eye on my phone as often as I can. So thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery. The surgery went well. It's just they want to keep him to make sure he's ready for travel and to go home. But yes, just keep my stepdad on your thoughts and prayers, and
hey, got an update for you. I was speaking with the deputy about Bodden, and she's gonna send an officer up to secure the scene, take pictures, etc. Do you remember the truck that we spotted leaving the reserve just before we locked it down? Well, the deputy had some news. Turns out that the truck was stolen from a college campus in Denver just a couple of weeks ago. It gets stranger. The sheriff just got a call from a patrolman in the next county over. The truck has been found on fire, abandoned in the middle of nowhere. It was an anonymous tip-off. I'm not an expert, but I bet that truck was the escape vehicle for our culprits. I'll let you know if the police find anything new. I need you to look for any signs that she came here with an agenda that might tie into the problems we're having. Be respectful, though. Her luggage. I guess it's just clothes and things. No need to open it up. Didn't we already find Bodden's phone in the woods? Ghost town and dig site? No. I don't believe it. That's the gear from the dig site, isn't it? Look, there's the rock saw. Did they take the blade off for safety, maybe? There's a rifle in there, too? No hunter's leaving something like that lying around. I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling to keep myself under control. Not only has someone been terrorizing the reserve, but they plan to pin it on someone else. You know, my dad said that there's a spiritual reason for what's going on. What I believe is that people have tried to hurt us, and innocents are getting caught in the middle. And the worst thing is that I have no idea who's behind it. Composure. That's what we need now, right? We got a response from APAR. They are denying all connections to what's happening here. They say that, while they have sadly been forced to euthanize animals in the past, none of their operations would ever condone the sorts of animal mistreatment that were reported. This never seemed like their MO to begin with. They kill shelter animals because they feel it's more humane than the alternative. They don't come out here to do it. Oh, and to make things even worse, I keep getting voicemails from Bobby Joe Jefferson asking me to call him back. We were able to trace the payment for Bodden's accommodation. You ready for this? It came from a Green Enterprises. The company was dissolved 3 days ago. Seems like the person behind Bodden's choice to come here was also the one who gave the go-ahead to rip up our railway. That's it. I've had enough from Bobby Joe. I'm gonna call him back and tell him that it's not the time. Give me a minute. have a job for you. I'm sending you details of a spot I want you to visit, but I need to deal with something just now. I'll call you back once I'm done.
Alright, so where are we heading? That be the question. Okay, right over here. Alrighty. I had to take my headphones off because it was starting to bug my head a little bit, but as long as you guys can still hear me, and I don't need to hear the sounds, but as long as I can read what's being said, I'm okay.
If I'm about to say this, but Joe may have solved the case. Do you recall the uranium mine that he was camped beside? It turns out that he was camping there because he was convinced that it was hosting some government conspiracy. Well, it turns out that someone had been up to visit the site on more than one occasion. The last time they visited, they came with a truck. Bobby was suspicious, so he tailed the truck as it moved around the reserve. Just before they left the reserve, Bobby lost sight of it as it disappeared into the woods. Before Bobby could figure out where it had gone, the truck returned to the road and drove out of the reserve. Bobby kept tailing them. Once they were out of the county, the driver jumped out, grabbed a jerry can from the back, and doused the truck in gasoline before setting it on fire. Bobby swears to me that the guy who got out of the truck is William Simpkins Jr. Shortly afterwards, he was picked up by someone in a car that matches the description of Junior's best friend. You remember the old chairman I told you about? That's William Simpkins Sr. This is his son. I went to school with him after he got himself kicked out of his fancy prep school. Junior was pretty horrible to everyone at school, but he was especially nasty to Bobby. I won't go into details, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby holds a grudge. The spot I'm sending you to is the place where Bobby says the truck took a detour before leaving the reserve. The driver desperately needed to get out of here, so why take a detour? Unless it was absolutely essential.
That is a good question. That is a very, very good question. Two and a half hours, just about at this point. So yeah, it takes a good, chunk of time to really sit down and be able to do this, especially when you're gonna do, some of the more easier ones. They still take a little bit of time because, unless if you have, the whole map unlocked and you can, fast travel from point to point to point, you have that in your favor. But when you don't have, the whole map unlocked, like, in my case here, I don't have it all fully unlocked. So I'm having to constantly, look at the map to see where I'm going, make sure I'm going the right way and everything. It can be very, it'll take a definite good, length of time to get it done. But all in all, if you're going to definitely do the story missions, take to account that you may want to check to see what they entail, because if it entails, hunting, then it's gonna pay, it's gonna take it a little bit longer, a definite lengthier time than when you're doing something like this, where you're doing more, driving point to point to point, and interacting with stuff with very little hunting involved. So, just keep that in mind when you're considering on, do you want to do the story missions or not? Now, if you were to ask me, are they worth it? Oh yeah, you're gonna you'll get experience, you'll get money from it. So if you really, consider it, yeah, definitely worth doing. But, plan your times out, don't force yourself to sit through the whole course of time, to do the story missions. Because, they are going to take a good, chunk of time to do. But, just be considerate of your times, be considerate of yourself, to where, you're, plan it out, It doesn't hurt to go check and see what the missions entail, are you going to be hunting, what are you going to be hunting for, because then you can plan on, have this gun, or have this gun for this, have this gun for that, should I carry all the guns that I need for all the missions, or so, just, plan on stuff like that. I mean, it's certainly something that you had to consider. Mule deer. But yeah, definitely just, have a plan of attack when you're going to definitely do story missions.
There's the break in the trees. There should be some tracks for you to follow.
Oh, come on, don't tell me I have to go all the way back that way. You might have to. Alright, let's try that real quick, because sometimes that's turning a little too soon will, cause a, or doing something a little too soon will cause a Like a little hiccup in the system. Alright. I don't know.
Whoever it was that drove in here got out. Follow the footprints.
Okay, there we go. So follow the footprints.
Look, there's blood on the ground. Keep following that trail. That tree, it's been marked. Is that a hand? A bloody handprint? That's really not a good sign. Whose blood is on his hands? Look, there's blood on the ground. Keep following that trail.
Somebody's gotten hurt. Somebody's hurt.
This seems to be the end of the trail. There's a little patch of disturbed soil. Did they bury something? It's a rusty old saw blade. Oh, it's the saw blade that had been attached to the dig team's rock saw. But why detach it from the saw and bury it unless it was important? Take another look at the blade. It's not just rusty, is it? It's got blood on it. I'd bet it's the Vandal's blood, too. Okay, don't touch the blade. Leave it there. The deputy's on their way. They'll probably want to talk to you. I think we've just found the missing piece of the puzzle. Great work. I've got an update. Junior and his friend were just pulled over by the state police. Guess who has a nasty gash across their hand?
Yep, we're practically at the end now. Yep.
Good morning, my friend. I hope you've enjoyed the last few days of uninterrupted peace and tranquility. I've just said goodbye to the last of the deputies team. They've gathered up all the evidence they think they'll need. While you've been busy hunting and exploring, I've been in interviews or giving statements to the police, the board, and even the local press. I haven't stopped or slowed down for what feels like at least a week now. I doubt today will be very different. I wanted to catch up with you this morning as I wanted to express my gratitude for the work you've done and ask you for one last big favor. I know I mentioned my dad's concern that there was a more spiritual reason for why things have been tough at the reserve. I can't say that I necessarily agree with him, but I'd like to do something to make him feel better. This job involves a journey to the top of Mount Silver Ridge. I don't trust anyone else to do this. Can you make it to the start of the trail? I think I ought to tell you why I'm sending you over there, right? So, since my dad got sick and I took over the warden position, we've sort of stopped doing a lot of the things that we used to do together. Sadly, this has resulted in us both missing the bear dance back in spring. I know it means a lot to my dad, and I feel bad that we weren't able to make it. It can get pretty tense when we discuss our culture back home. Dad and I see the world through different lenses. I am proud of my heritage and where I come from, but I don't want it to define me as a person. Dad sees that as me turning my back on my community. Since we both missed the bear dance, I plan to make it up to Dad by attending the Sundance in a week's time. You're probably wondering what this has to do with you walking up a mountain, right? Just before I was born, my grandfather climbed Mount Silver Ridge and stashed a pair of quartz rattles at the top. When I was a teenager, my dad showed me them and told me that they were only to be brought down the mountain in times of dire need. I think that if I bring those rattles with me to the Sundance, Dad will appreciate that I've accepted their significance and paid respect to our beliefs. So, after helping pull the reserve back together, I'm hoping you'll help me comfort my dad. I hope I'm not asking too much.
Alright, so we are heading up this way. Because I think where we're heading is a little further up. But he says it's supposed to be morning. It is going on, what, 6 o'clock in the evening for in-game? So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's make it, let's go 8 in the morning. Just so that way, even by the time we make it up there, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time. Heading the right way. We are. Alright. Oh, I'll be happy when this is over. My head is actually starting to hurt. Go ahead and start grabbing some of these. But at least we are almost practically done. So by the time that we are done with this, it'll be what? Going on 3 hours, so just about, yeah. So pretty close to 3 hours it will take you to just, if you just go from, you know, and, you know, go from mission to mission non-stop, it's going to take you a pretty darn close to 3 hours to finish Silver Ridge Peaks. Now, you know, that's just the story missions. I'm pretty sure that this is probably the only one that doesn't give you side missions, I think. So, unless if you, like, you know, do some, like, 1 or 2 missions, you do some hunting, do several more missions, do some hunting, you know, it's going to take you longer to get the story missions done for Silver Ridge Peaks. And I think that's going to be the same way when you know, even doing some of the other, you know, maps and even, you know, even New England Mountains, and the same thing with Revontuli Coast. You know, if you take your time to really do a lot of, you know, to do some hunting between missions, you're adding on to the time that it takes to complete the story missions. So, in my personal opinion, you know, if you're gonna do the story missions just to save yourself on time, you know, definitely, you know, just focus on the story missions, get them done, and then, you know, you have plenty of time to, you know, do all the hunting that you want. Ooh. Bighorn Sheep Need Zone. But, you know, again, you know, just plan it out, because unless if you go into a story mission ill-equipped, you find yourself just, you know, not ready for doing a lot. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so desperately working on, you know, getting a lot done. So that way I can do, you know, stuff like hunting for the great ones, because I don't have all the calls that I need for that. So doing the story missions will definitely, you know, propel you towards that.
So this is it. The Silver Ridge Trail. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I can promise you that the views from the top are worth the climb. Plus, you never know what you might be able to hunt on the way, right? While you're on your way up, why don't I fill you in on the recent news? So, first things first, Junior. I have some mixed news there. Was it Junior that terrorized the reserve? Almost certainly yes. He has, however, been released from prison after one of Daddy's lawyers stepped in to save him. He's so cocky that he actually gave an interview to a reporter, but kept using phrases like we and us, as well as the Simpkins family, which raised a few red flags. I am confident that the evidence we've gathered and Bobby Joe's testimony will help to bring the truth out, though. Anyway, in light of everything that went on here, the police are looking at the whole Simpkins family, not just Junior. I suspect that Simpkins Sr. saw an opportunity to get his payback on the APAR for brainwashing Timothy, the reserve for pushing him off the board, and on my family after my dad reported his eldest son to the police. Oh, and speaking of the board, they've really been great in the last couple of days. They've been really supportive and appreciative of how this mess has been dealt with. I'm getting a lot of the credit, but I keep telling them you were doing most of the work out there in the reserve. If there was ever any doubt from the board that I was right in hiring you, it's gone now. In fact, the work that you and Remy have done is already having a strong effect on our bookings. Next week's schedule is already filling up fast.
he said that, you know, to take some time and do a little bit of hunting, but I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get myself straight there. And this can most definitely be tricky because this is not the first time I've done this mission, and finding the right trail up can be the part that makes it tricky. Because I'm pretty certain that where I want to, I'm just not entirely certain where the turnoff is for this, and this is where it always gets me. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is come up to this point that's right here. And then I'm gonna try making a beeline for it. Ugh. I hope I'm taking the right way for this, because this can be rather, I know it's rather hard to figure out, and it's not, like I said, it's not the first time I've done this story mission, so, and it definitely took me a little bit to figure it out too. And it may require me actually going in on foot, but hopefully I can do this without needing to go in on foot. But hopefully coming from the outpost here will provide the I just don't know. I wish there was an easier route, but I think this is like one of the more harder routes to really figure out how to get there. So it might take me a little bit to try and figure out the best route up. Now, if anyone knows a better route to take, you know, feel free to post it in the comments, because sometimes that, you know, helps a lot better. You know, having some personal insights as to, you know, what route is the best route to really go in from, you know, is there a better point to get to the spot, you know, via, you know, walking or via ATV. I mean, as you can see, it's, you know, it's a difficult climb even with the ATV up this mountain. This is what this quest always gets me with this. Because it's like, you know, what's the route? It's like, you know, what's the best route to go up? Because they don't, it's like it doesn't give you like a good, you know, point to really go from. I mean, is it, you know, maybe coming up like this? I mean, let's try. I mean, now, I'm taking for granted this is the, like, maybe the third attempt that I've had with this, third or fourth attempt with this quest or mission, you know, and it's a definitely a difficult climb. And I don't know the best way up, and if it is to come in from, you know, what is this, a Mountain Lion outpost and come in from like the, what is this, the southeastern part, I mean, maybe that's the route to go. I just don't know. I don't know the best route to go, and, you know, this, I had to say, you know, I think, you know, with this quest, they could have made it a little bit easier to get there, but, you know, how else do you get there, you know? It's like, you know, you have to climb up the mountain in some form or another, may it be on foot or with the ATV, and I'm just, you know, trying to find the smoothest route is a pain in the butt. But I'm willing to try anything and everything to get there. It's just, it's a pain in the ass. Forgive the language, but, you know, it is such a pain in the rear. Maybe this is the best way to get up here. I don't know. I will find out. Just trying to make, you know, there's no like indefinite, you know, pathway up, unless if there is, I'm just missing it. Ugh. Dang it. It almost seems like this might be the best route to kind of go, especially if you don't know exactly if there's a indefinite path or not. Problem being, you know, if you're on ATV, you have to kind of be watching out for trees. Be careful of, you know, possible spin outs, as you've seen me do a couple of times here. But it seems like coming from the south, almost the southeast, coming in from behind from the southeast is the best way to go, almost. I mean, so far it's been smoother, not really having to struggle as much. But if anyone does know the best route to take to get up here, you know, definitely post it in comments. And, you know, whoa! Hello! That wasn't good. So as you can see, it's a I really wish I knew what the best route to really get up here was, because it is a pain in the rear. Uh-oh. And I know it's gotta be somewhat hilarious to watch me just struggle at this, but at the same time, it's like, you know, like I said, if you know the better route to really come in from, even whether it be for ATV or on foot, definitely post it, because, you know, about halfway tempted to just ditch the ATV, but I always want to try. I have to try. Ooh. Alright, come on. See, this is what I don't like, is I don't know best route up. I mean, this is a definite struggle to find this best route up for this mission, and sometimes it's a pain in the rear. Alright, come on, we can do this, we can do this! Come on, 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 come on. Spinning wheels, spinning wheels, spinning wheels. Are we in the clear? I think we're in the clear. Maybe. I can only hope. I can only hope. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Come on. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh. This is... Ow! This is definitely a difficult climb. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No! We can do it! Oh, this is... We can do it, we can do it. Almost. We are 150 yards off. I don't know. See, this is where it is a pain in the ass, because I don't know if I should, you know, come over here. I wonder if this will give me the... See, this is kind of why I really hate this. Is like, you know, they don't... There is no... It's hard to know if there's an indefinite way up. And, you know, they're not... It doesn't... You know, I struggle to, you know... So hard to get up there, and it's not easy. Maybe the best way to go about this is to come over here to, you know, I just don't know. I don't know if there's a good route up or not. And it's a pain in the butt. It's like, how in the world do you get up there? That is the easy route. And this is going to... And I know it's going to wind up becoming a pain in the butt for anyone that wants to do this. That wants to do this story for Silver Ridge Peaks. And then when you get to the, you know, the very ending of the storyline, you know, you have to, you know, make this trek up the mountain. So, you know, what's the best way up? You know? I mean, now, I can't discredit Frontier for making this challenging, but they could have made it a little bit easier to get up to this point that, you know, doesn't make you guess as to, you know, okay, so what is the best route up? And this is the... I mean, I have done this before. I don't remember how I managed to get up here, but I know I have. So this is, what, attempt number 3 to get up this mountain. I think this is my... I just, you know, I love the game. Don't get me wrong, I love the game. I love the quests. I love the missions. Because they do take you to some pretty beautiful scenic routes. But, you know, how in the freaking hell do you get up this mountain? You know? I mean, I've done it before, I just don't remember how because it's been months. And I'd like to, you know, just, you know, have this done and over with. I mean, I think this is by far one of the most challenging missions that they have you do is, you know, find the smoothest way up the mountain. How in the heck are you supposed to do this? Especially if you want to go by ATV. Wonder. I can get myself up to this. Look out. Will it give me the route? Will it show me the route to take? That is the question. That is the big question. Will this give me the direct route or not? I mean, you guys have seen me, you know, attempt to climb the mountain twice with the ATV. So it makes me wonder, is this the way to get up to this point, is to... See, I don't know. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Hopefully by doing this it'll show me the better route to take. Hopefully. See, I don't know. Almost tempted to try to make this trek up on to the mountain on foot. I mean, it's a 0.5 miles off. I think we're gonna try for it on foot. I mean, this is just one of the most annoying parts of this particular mission is finding the smoothest route up. Is like, you know, how do you do this? Do you do it on foot? Do you do it on ATV? I don't know. Set that auto run. So hopefully I can, because if I can find the smooth route from this lookout point, then maybe it's just better to go at it from on foot versus trying to struggle with the ATV. Alright, come on, game. Wondering if this is the way that I took to just by going by on foot. I mean, it's a beautiful setting. I mean, you have to admit it's beautiful. But maybe this was the route to take, is by going at it on foot. And just follow this ridge line here from that lookout point. Almost seems like it. I almost see a dark path route up, but I don't know. Hopefully we can do this. Maybe it was the best. I'm starting to wonder if you had to get to that lookout point and then just go from there on foot. Because I came to, what is this? Post 4 lookout point, okay? So, probably the best route to take is to come here and just follow the ridgeline up. Where, because if it's probably better to try to do it on foot than, struggle to do it with the ATV like you saw me do on the last 2 attempts. Yep, here we go. We are definitely making headway here. So this is definitely the route to take, is to follow that ridge line up the mountain, because oh my god, that was a pain in the rear end just trying to do it with the ATV. So yeah, definitely, if you're gonna attempt this particular story mission, and once again,
It's
I would.
amazing up there, isn't it? I've only made the climb a handful of times, but it's such a great view. The rattles should be easy to find. They're in a protective case.
So I will show you guys once again the route to probably the best route and how to do it is so let me get up here. But look at this view, yo. I mean, this is by far one of the best views that I have seen on this game. Where if you actually, pan this way, it kind of looks a little awkward. But pan over this way, oh my god, look at that view. I mean, it is so beautiful. So the best route that we just found is to come here to post 4. So, what is this? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But, you come to this outpost here in Sun Sisters. Make your way up to the post 4 lookout point, and then on foot follow this ridge line here, this line right through here to get up to Mount Silver Ridge. And that is your direct route to get up this mountain, is to follow that ridge line. But man, what a view.
Mission accomplished. Thank you. This means a lot to me. Enjoy the view from the top. You earned it. Our outlook is so much brighter, just because you're here with us. When I get back from the Sundance, why don't we spend some time hunting together? The media attention has actually had some unforeseen side effects. Some government inspectors are coming out to visit the polluted lake. I guess there is such a thing as bad press, huh? I'm gonna go get ready for that meeting. Hopefully we can get things moving again. Take care. We'll catch up soon.
And there you go. That is the story missions complete for Silver Ridge Peaks. And let's take a look at the mission logs. So I do not see any so these are all the missions a rookie start, all the way from a rookie start all the way down to the ascent. So let's count these real quick. So starting with a rookie start, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 missions. And we are just now entering that 3.5 hours. So just about 3.5 hours, you can get all of these done back to back to back without having to worry about a lot of fat, you can definitely speed up the time a little bit with fast traveling, but for 15 missions in 3.5 hours, just about, because I'm looking at my recorded time is 3 hours 23 minutes, so just about 3.5 hours it took for me to complete Silver Ridge Peaks, the story missions, and I leveled up twice, I think, while doing this, and earning a skill point at it. Or no, I only leveled up once. And so depending on when you do this depends on how many skill points that you get, because of the higher that you get into your levels, and you start leveling, you'll level every so often, but then it's your skill points or your perk points start coming every other, level where it slows down. It really does. But once again, is it worth it to do the story missions? Yes. I mean, and look at the money that I've gained from doing all this. When I first started, I think I was at like what, 8, somewhere around 8 and 9,000. So in that time, I earned roughly about what, 15 to 16,000. Doing this, not bad. Honestly, not bad. And like I said in the beginning, if you do this right, let's see, where is it? Is it right here, I think? Yes, the more the merrier. So increases the monetary reward gained from completing any mission by 5%. So, and if you were paying attention for each completed mission, I was getting $1,050 or bucks, or I don't know what the currency is, because that's not the, if you look at that symbol, that's not the American symbol for dollars. But for $1,550 for each completed mission, not bad. Not bad, considering the fact that there's 15 quests. So you times that by 15, that'll be what? And let me bring up a calculator real quick. So what did we say? 150 times by 15. So 15,750. And that's how much I was gaining for each completed mission. I think for each completed mission without that skill is, I think, 1,000. So, you gotta minus out that extra 5% that you're gaining. So you'll be walking away with just what, 15,000? Whereas if you have the more the merrier skill, in the, what was it, the ambusher tree, I think? The ambusher skill? Yeah, so in the ambusher skill, the more the merrier. If you have that, you're gonna make a pretty decent amount per quest, per mission. So for me, I like that, because then I'm gaining, so much for not just, for each animal that I kill, because I've only killed what? One animal, which was a bear. So that's, really not bad when you think about it. So, in the long run, for, when really thinking about if you want to do the story missions, is completely up to you. But, for, if you were to ask me, are the story missions worth doing? Yes, they're worth it. Take it for granted that you might, not really want to really go through through it all. But if you really want to kind of push your money up a little bit, and with the more the merrier skill, you're gonna be gaining, so much per mission that you do. So, and like I said, 15 story missions for Silver Ridge Peaks. So, and like I said, 15,750 in total. And I think, like I said when I started, I think it was like somewhere between 8 and 9,000 when I started. So again, at at that point, and then now I'm sitting at 24,000. Honestly, not bad. It's really not bad. And when you pair that with all the other maps that have, like, a dozen or more missions, once again, the more the merrier skill. You get that unlocked, you're going to make a good, by the time that you're done and you've completed that map with all of its story missions, and that's just story missions, that's not including, any side missions. Now, had Silver Ridge Peaks had the side missions in it, I would definitely be getting a little bit more because, hey, I'm doing side missions. But, it is, by far, it is really worth it when you make use of the certain skills that are available to you. So, that is something that you really had to consider, is if you're going to get the more the merrier skill, then you're considering on doing the story missions, doing the side missions, and you're going to get that extra, boost to the amount that you gain for doing those missions. So, again, and this is where I will throw it out, and I'm not going to push it on you. I'm not trying to push it on anyone by, saying, oh yeah, you have to go do the story missions. No, that is per your own, choice. That is your own choice as a player, as, the, your hunter's choice, your choice being the player, you the player, you have a choice whether or not if you want to do the missions or not. Now, you're gaining money from doing the missions, and you're also gaining experience doing the missions as well. Just like, when you go out and you're hunting, bear, or if you're hunting mountain lion, turkey, whatever, you're gaining experience and you're getting money from both. But you're not, unless if you just strictly do hunting, your progression with levels, unless if there was a skill that were to add, how much experience that you gain for each kill that you do, your progression is going to be probably the same that as if you were to do the quests or the missions. But, again, it is your own choice. I'm not going to force it on you. Don't let anyone force you to do the missions. It is of your own free will. You are the player, and it is you that chose to get this game. So, if you're going to play the game and you want to do the missions, that is your choice. If you just want to dive right in and just, strictly do hunting, and, you want to do archery or straight out shotguns, rifles, handguns, it is your choice. If you do a combination of all four weapons, that is your choice again. But again, like I said, the story missions, are they worth it? With the more the merrier skill, heck yes, because you're gonna definitely pull in, money for doing it, and you're also getting experience for doing the missions as well. So, let's just take a look at, let's see, it's gonna be what, Codex. So we go to Hunter, we go to Profile Card. So if I were to keep doing the story missions, and I think it's what, like 100 per mission that you do. So And let me just make use of the calculator real quick again. So I've got what? 49, 186, and let's just minus out, that 48, 478. So 708 is how much I have left until the next level. So doing the quests, I would have to do like another 8 quests in order to level up. Not bad. And, I don't exactly remember how much you gain for hunting, but paired with hunting, you'll level up very decently. So, what I would suggest, if you're gonna do quests, definitely pair it with hunting, because if you just, do straight out hunting, like I said, I don't remember how much you gain in experience from hunting. But if it's 100 experience per quest, mission that you do, you'll level up pretty decently. And again, even you'll level up decently with just doing missions, but it'll just be, probably a little bit slower because you have to do an X amount of missions before you level up. And like I said, if it's 100 experience per mission or per quest that you do, if I were to do another 8 more, like I said, then I will most definitely level up within 8 quests. If I were to go and do another 7 quests and then, go kill just one animal, I'll level up. But, again, it's, my own choice. So, again, it's your own choice as to what you want to do. But for, 3.5 hours just to get through Silver Ridge Peaks, not bad. Had I paired this with hunting, it would have been much longer than 3.5 hours. And so, I know Hirsch has hunting missions. I know Layton does. I know Medved Taiga does. I do believe Verhunga does. Parque Fernando, Yukon, Quattro, Teawara. I think that's how you pronounce that. I could be wrong. Rancho del Arroyo and Mississippi Acres all definitely have hunting in them. So it adds to the time frame that you would be going through the story quests. Now, once again, is it worth doing it? Oh yeah, because if you're going to gain so much for story quests, and not to mention the fact that if you have to do so many, kill so many, let's say you had to kill four coyotes in order to complete a mission. So that's, whatever the amount is that you would gain for killing 4 coyotes or coyotes, or depending on where you live, or however you choose to pronounce it. So 4 coyotes, and then you add in the experience for that mission. That's 100 plus whatever you get for killing 4 coyotes. Same thing goes with any other animal that, the mission tells you to go kill. So let's just say, Mississippi Acres. Mississippi Acres is the only map where you can actively go hunt alligators. So let's say you have to go kill 2 alligators. So you have to do that math with, however much that you are killing, the experience that you get for killing alligators, plus that 100 from the mission. So again, it all comes down to the math of, the quest or mission that you're doing and the amount of animals that you're killing for that. So once again, is it worth it? Oh yeah, definitely, because you're gonna get, you're getting experience either way, and getting an extra 100 added on to the amount of kills that you had to do for that mission. Honestly, if you were to ask me, once again, if you were to ask me, is doing the missions worth it? I'm gonna definitely say, oh yes. It's a definite yes for me. There's others, and I know like one or two people that have said they're not worth it. Honestly, I no disrespect to other players that say that doing the missions is not worth it, but when you do the math to the amount of animals that you're killing for a certain mission or quest, however you want to whichever term that you want to use, you're going to, you're kind of missing. If you're just not choosing to do the quest, you're missing out on an extra 100 or so experience just from not doing it. So, and like I said, in my personal opinion, it is definitely worth doing the quests. So once again, I'm gonna reiterate it, is I'm not forcing you to go and do the quests or go do the missions. That is your choice. It is my choice to do the missions because I feel like I'm getting a little bit more out of the missions, you know, experience wise, money wise. It is most definitely worth it to me. So if you want to get that little monetary boost for each time that you complete a mission, it's worth it. The same thing goes with the experience. It's worth it. So once again, you are the player. It is your choice. But if you were to ask, any other player, what are the easiest story missions to go for, they might give you some completely different answers. But for, if you're looking for like, very, not too long of a story, not too hard to do, the three that I will definitely say is Silver Ridge Peaks, New England Mountains, and Revontuli Coast, where there is very little to no hunting at all. And if you add in a little bit of hunting, you're just adding in a little bit of experience. You're adding in a little bit of money that you're gaining for doing that. So, again, it comes down to the math of what you are going to do. But anyways, enough of my rambling about all this. I hope this was informative for you guys. You can definitely check out my Discord, which will be linked down below in the description. You can go check out my Twitter, where I do try to post when I do live streams, when I do more recorded content like this. I hope I answered some questions for you guys as to, what's the easiest story missions to do. And once again, it is Silver Ridge Peaks, Revontuli Coast, and New England Mountains. But anyways, I am Dark Shadow Vamp, saying good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. And just remember, keep gaming.